on the wreckage of the Condor.
Is this coffee a BGO blend?
Are you asking if a top-tier government agency commissioned its own private blend of coffee at taxpayer expense?
It did, didn't it?
Yes, and I was just thinking about that.
Because it's awful?
No, because they also commissioned their own wine.
What about Rupert?
Who's Rupert?
Rupert. He was the head grill master at the barbecue. He says it's all about the basting.
Oh, right, of course. Good old Rupert. What about him?
So then one could say that he's a master baster.
An intense one at that. That beastie noise reminds me of his snoring.
Bring this stream of consciousness home for me.
You want to call the beastie thing Rupert?
What?
The species as a whole. It's not Rupert. It's a Rupert. She's naming her creatures.
What else could I mean?
How about a mega scary?
The ladies at Evermore prefer to keep names like that for bugs or critters that slither.
It's a clean slate here.
I gotta go with first impressions. The two of you stay here. I'm going to quickly check out the dragon situation.
I guess we wait.
Yep.
So, do you want to guess my age?
Nope.
Am I 12? Seriously?
Don't.
Am I 13? Nope. Am I...
Stop.
14? Boy, oh boy, I sure got you stumped.
Go is the shortest sentence in the English language. You are the shortest person. Coincidence?
Are you even trying?
Mega scary! We're in here and we're yummy!
It's a Rupert.
On board the Starhopper.
I thought we should clear the air. I suppose this would be surprising for you.
Being on your crew roster? No. Surprising is that I'm not taking you off in chains to Catamar as slave labor. This is preposterously surreal.
Ah, Catamar and the romance of an archaeological dig. Another time, perhaps. I went through your personal file. You are far more interesting than I had given you credit for.
Am I supposed to be flattered?
What interested me specifically was your career trajectory. After your obligatory stint in the armed forces, as a sniper no less, you went into media and became a producer for that gossipy rag, The Feed, on your home world. Then you took a role of stability assurance controller, whatever that is, with the Jader. You are a dancer for money.
I'm adaptive.
Not that adaptive. You bring your same special panache to everything you do. The Feed is a propaganda mill, is it not?
Off-worlders call it that.
Divisive, inflammatory, walks like a duck, talks like a duck. It fascinates me that this sort of thing exists in this day and age, even though the moral collapse of journalism was credited for bringing about the war of the insurrection.
Academic postulating.
So, you're aware? How charming. One off-worlder said of the Feed, it spins responsibility as a form of oppression. It's so much less demanding to externalize blame than it is to internalize accountability.
Who is this off-worlder?
The person who hired you to work for the Jader.
Say what you will, the Feed had, probably still has, a huge market share.
By maintaining laser focus on the lowest common denominator. I understand that soldiers re-upped to escape the insipid triviality and whiny sense of entitlement that have become hallmarks of civilian life on your home world. Now that's an indictment.
I wouldn't know.
You were a soldier.
I wouldn't know what motivates other soldiers. It's not a hive mind.
I'll let that pass. Was it true then, in the case of your own brother? Does his death mean the Feed makes payroll with blood money?
He made his own choices.
No contributory negligence? Wasn't your sister caught up in the privilege riots?
You obviously know the answer.
I do. You don't seem particularly emotionally invested in your siblings. Is it because you're adopted? Doubtful. Adopted children can be loving. I bet you sleep very well at night.
Well enough.
Your recruiter saw something in you, and so do I.
And?
Apparently, the temperament and skill set of a producer for the feed is a diamond in the rough for a stability assurance controller / torturer. Lots of psychopaths in journalism.
Apparently.
Well, I feel that a stability assurance controller / torturer has a transferable skill set and temperament for what we're undertaking. You're cold and calculating. Lisa, creatively so. You're here because we're going to do terrible things. Creatively.
Define things.
In part, your role will be to record what transpires.
In part.
And in part, your role will be to spin it. News outlets such as the Constellation Nebula Network, in violation of every principle of journalistic ethics, do sponsored content. It's all the rage with totalitarian regimes. I'm going to let you in on a secret. I am still in the employ of a faction within the BGO. Restricted to the highest levels in the Jada government, that information is above Commander Cooper's pay grade and therefore, until now, yours.
Do you have any proof that the Jada government is aware?
For starters, I'm not locked up at Catamore, and we will be rendezvousing with a BGO troop ship. We'll be taking on a few of their Black Ops commando types.
To shore up the Jada team?
To replace them. Orders to that effect will be coming directly from Jada Command shortly.
Why would the Jada and BGO be working together? And why through you?
After the disappearance of the Invictus, elements within the BGO still wanted to continue with interdimensional research, so an arrangement was made with the Jada.
A joint venture?
Make no mistake, the BGO are in the driver's seat. The Jada welcomed being part of research they could not possibly fund. The BGO was happy to have the research, which had become banned by the world government, continue.
And how does this specific mission fit in?
Those aforementioned elements within the BGO are interested in getting the data.
What are they expecting the data to show them?
They know it will show that, thanks to Dr. Kane, a human navigator was at the wheel. One who had been surgically augmented with a DMT pump and quite possibly driven insane through experimentation. Tisk, tisk. They are, of course, also seeking to find out what precisely happened, but they are mostly hoping to learn whether the Invictus fulfilled its mission.
Testing interdimensional travel?
No, its primary mission.
Which was?
To find proof that the Coven is from another dimension.
That seems random.
It does, but it's not.
The Coven you are part of?
The very same. The ladies once tried wooing me into the bosom of their love.
And?
Not since the advent of the male contraceptive pill has the axiom "careful what you wish for" resonated so powerfully and with such simultaneity for so many women.
You're not a team player, I take it.
Generally, no.
Yet the BGO trusts you to help them find support for the invasion theory.
Trust might be overstating things. Interdimensional travel is a fledgling field with two noteworthy champions. Fiddlehead is one, and I am the other.
Why are you helping them?
I, too, am but a private dancer.
What gave those pencil necks at the BGO the crazy idea that a collection of eccentric, and outside of you, harmless, women were from another dimension?
A chapter in a book published in the early 2040s.
A lone chapter in some old book.
The book in question was written by Dr. Skylar O'Shea. a physicist. In it, she describes beings extending from another dimension into this universe.
And it just got their interest recently.
Yes. To this day, Dr. O'Shea's work is referenced and cited. Interestingly, several scholars are certain that the chapter was never in the book. Yet, there it suddenly was, and by all account, had always been.
I don't understand.
The Mandela Effect.
You're saying that the appearance of this chapter is an example of the Mandela Effect?
I'm saying quite a few scholars were surprised to learn of its presence in a book they thought themselves well versed in.
That chapter suddenly appearing must have caused a stir.
The chapter changes things. It changes our position in existence because it concerns alien reality. And this paradigm shift is not the first. Late in the 20th century, it was discovered that a single word in the book of Isaiah in the King James Version of the Bible had changed. In chapter 11, verse 6, what was once thought to have read, "The lion also shall dwell with the lamb," actually stated, "The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb." The book of Isaiah is about the coming of a new age and how it will be. However, the wolf with the lamb has subtly different implications. The metaphorical meaning of the passage has changed. Wolves are not lions after all. And if the king of the jungle is not lying peacefully with the lamb, what's it up to?
You believe that the new chapter in the physics textbook is part and parcel?
I believe, as does a cadre within the BGO, that at least to a degree the answer is on the Invictus. So, there you have it. The whole espionage and intrigue kit and caboodle. Do I have your loyalty on this mission?
For this mission? Yes, you have my loyalty.
If I put my mind to it, and given enough exposure to a person, I can generally get a good read on them. I believe you.
The delightful Q&A portion of this meeting was to get a read.
Cats love mice.
And if you didn't believe me, would you have spat in my face?
No, dear girl. I have a gun in my desk. Welcome to Team Invictus. There's a little film that you will need to see. Then we discuss Leviathan.
In a dense fog in a large riverbed.
There you are.
What are you doing out here?
Jane more or less told me to leave.
Were you being annoying? Was she more or less actually asking you to not be annoying?
Splitting hairs. What's this then?
A riverbed. Water flowed here once, and lots of it by the looks of things.
A soupy ground fog adds a nice element of super creepy.
Careful. Under the fog, the ground is a little uneven.
And I've come to feel safer staying with you while still in the terrifying plight that you brought me into.
We're bonding.
If there's big beasts on this planet, it must be getting terraformed with non-indigenous species.
You mean terraformed.
Was that an animal carcass? Did an animal carcass just drop out of the clouds?
I think so.
It literally rains death around you. Literally. Death.
Don't get all high maintenance because of a little inclement weather.
Crab! We're standing on bones in a field of bones beside newly arrived bones.
Looks like a vegetarian.
You mean herbivore?
Same diff. As far as I've seen, it's never been the healthy lifestyle it's made out to be. These I will call hollows.
Oh, I'm pretty sure the non-eaten versions don't come this way.
First impressions.
Ruperts are giant flying carnivores?
How awesome is that?
Awesome? Awesome? It's zero awesome. It's negative awesome. It's the black hole of awesomeness.
Given how cloudy this place is, Ruperts might hunt by sound. Relax. It just ate. We're probably okay for a bit.
What if there's another one?
Around here? Unlikely. Big carnivores tend to be territorial. Scavengers, on the other hand, they could be along any time now. These bones didn't pick themselves clean.
This place has dog-sized cockroaches?
Those would be the scavengers. They will be known as crunchies. There's probably a slew of them under the fog right now.
Was that crunchy about to bite me?
Did you mean bite as a synonym for amputate?
No, because it's not.
Then no, it wasn't about to bite you. I think we've got company.
I don't hear anything. Another one! Where are you going?
To get the working dune buggy, we need to go check on Jane.
But there's dead people in it.
Get in.
Who are they?
No clue, but they might be the reason the pirates didn't follow. This planet could be these guys' hideout.
So, of the entire great big planet, we happen to crash land right where they are.
It may seem like a huge suspension of disbelief is required, but the premise was set up. This kind of thing will keep occurring until the universe has its pound of flesh.
The universe can eat my...
And not very far away,
You want to end up like your friends?
Jane! It's us! Don't shoot! Or cast a spell! Or whatever you did!
Oh, hey. Oh, I use the Ariant rifles.
I take it you still don't smell that. You should plug your nose.
If you mean the bacon cooking on burning garbage, I caught wind of that a while back.
You're going to regret saying that. Take a gander.
The plasma discharge kind of melted them. It kind of cooked them.
This has ruined bacon for me. You did this with one of the rifles?
Oh, I ended up using both, actually. I'm hoping they were some far-flung random patrol that caught sight of the crash, but let's assume that they radioed for backup. Do you have any idea who they are?
No, but they're probably the reason that the Long isn't in a rush to follow us here.
You think the Long survived?
They might have gotten some kind of plasma blowback, but I suspect that the bulk of the energy in the wave was moving away from their ship.
The rifles overheat, don't they?
You'd know that for certain if you'd stayed at the meeting.
It appears that I do know. Personal energy weapons. You'd be better off with a bow and arrow.
Not against whatever is on the Invictus.
Overheat? Metallic hydrogen would not overheat from the current. I'd like to examine the rifle's workings. I might be able to do something.
That a team of engineers and scientists could not.
I think outside the box.
Way outside.
There's a toolkit inside. Oh, and I found a care package from Priestess Jennifer, addressed to you when I was inventorying our supplies.
inside the ship.
As promised, the toolkit?
I'd like to open the care package first.
Reinforcements for whoever the hell attacked us could be on their way?
I know me. I'll be too distracted wondering about my care package to do my best work.
You're the one who mentioned the package. You're kind of to blame.
There.
Let me guess. Underwear.
Yes!
It's become a running theme. Initiates soil themselves a lot for some reason.
With you? Yeah, that's a mystery. What's this?
Read the note.
Oh, that's so sweet. It's a signal jammer in case there was a sleeper petty chip in me that was too buried to find and can still activate.
A sleeper chip is
I can guess what it is. Am I supposed to keep this on me forever?
Just pull off the tab on the back. There's a strip of super powerful adhesive. You can stick it to yourself forever.
Pass.
Wear it like a brooch then. What's that? A chew toy, a note from Ken. You really made an impression.
Toolbox, please.
Inside Ezra's office on the Starhopper.
Interesting tale, Captain Chen, and interesting tactic. Not many would chase a demigoddess of fire and destruction into the inferno of a star nursery. How did you fare?
We pursued a mortal Marshal into the nebula. We took some minor damage.
Even though she was in a small Condor-class ship, and you were in that big, brand-new dreadnought, she won?
She didn't win. She temporarily evaded us.
Alexandra not only evaded you, but also damaged your ship in the process, and probably much more severely than you are letting on.
We are fairly certain that her ship went down on one kick, an uncharted planet used by the Archicon.
Fairly certain? You lost track?
Briefly.
Oh my. How big was the explosion, Captain? Or was it a case of explosions? Oh, I can see that's a sore point. You don't have to answer. Is there enough left of your ship to pursue her?
We can't simply drop onto the planet. We don't want to end up in a war with the Archicon.
Don't you worry about them. The exploits of the mortal Marshal can be humbling. They'd probably welcome you. Misery loves company and all that. It's marvelous catching up on your failure, but I've got another caller. Keep me apprised. Oh, and if you have contact information for the Archicon, please be so kind as to forward it to me. If by chance they finish your job, they should get your payday.
Well, the bounty will be mine, Doctor.
That's the spirit. You can have anything, as long as you're willing to sacrifice everything. Barbara, how nice of you to call. And I see Admiral Creed is joining us. How wonderful.
The troop ship should be reaching you shortly, Witch.
Any updates?
They are still en route, but slowed down as I promised. Alexandra will need to chew through 2 factions of pirates.
We have some breathing room then?
We do not. Understand that the Coven will put the pieces of the puzzle together. They are also in contact with our roving planet friend who, as it stands, is already contending with what is undoubtedly subtly conflicting intelligence between me and the Coven. Who knows how that will eventually play out or when? As for Alexandra, slowing her down is relative. In short, Barbara, it will all fall apart. Of that, have no doubt. Our goal is to be in possession of the Invictus before it does.
They will put it all together? Everything?
By now, they're certainly aware that the ship picked up a stowaway on the return voyage. It will pretty much clinch it for them when they find out that the ship had a human navigator.
Why?
Because they will know that the navigator had been surreptitiously influenced by Leviathan to come and pick her up.
How?
Leviathan has reach. They know that. She's a sneaky old gal. They know that too.
Where exactly did the Invictus go?
Exactly off the map.
Inside the office of Barbara Normal.
So, Admiral, what's your post-mortem to the call?
I despise her.
Could you at least pretend to tolerate the good doctor? We still need her.
Do we? The drive she's promising still seems like fiction to me.
That aside, she is verifiably on the verge of delivering a vastly superior communication solution to the use of arrays, which you yourself stated is vital to the success of the Blitzkrieg.
I can't stand the woman.
She knows. No one can. And she has little regard for us. This is strictly a transactional relationship.
And more importantly, I don't trust her. She's too quick with a comeback to everything, as any seasoned swindler would be.
Opportunist, not swindler. I don't trust her either, but we have no choice. Either she provides the communications grid as well as weakening Monument City, or there is no coup. Also, don't forget that she is currently under hire by the upper echelon of the BGO to retrieve the Invictus data.
Always hustling. Always with the side deals.
I am the contact she will be delivering to. In both instances, she is reporting to me. In one case, it is with the BGO's knowledge. In the other, it is not.
Even if she delivers the drive as promised, it won't be online anytime soon.
We'll have time. The world government will be tied up with a scandal, after all. Proof of the abomination navigator will make for great public relations propaganda in our favor.
And the fate of the Coven?
That part remains between the two of us.
I'm aware. I was referring to her finding out. The longer this drags on, the more that becomes a possibility. Those witches have a knack for such things.
The doctor is a mercenary. She's being paid. She always delivers.
A witch first. Everything else is subordinate to that.
With great risk comes the possibility of great reward.
Platitudes.
It doesn't make it any less true.
Inside the crashed Condor spaceship.
I was hoping I could work some magic with the plasma gun, but not here.
Take a gander. There was a sword inside all this time.
That would be the metallic hydrogen core. It's more like a large electric rocket-fueled super atom bursting billy club.
A super sword. It's light. Cool runic inscriptions on the blade.
That would be the embedded circuits. And that would be the power cell.
Right on the hilt.
Sure.
This reminds me of the time when the military experimented with creating sabers able to melt through blast doors like a hot knife through blubber.
Butter. The idiom is that the hot knife is passing through butter.
Why would anyone want to cut through butter with a hot knife?
Why would anyone want to cut through blubber?
Anyway.
To meet specs, the heat coming off the blade was equivalent to the surface of a G-type star. As a result, the person brandishing the saber would burst into flames the second they lit her up, and, owing to instantaneous vaporization of cellular water, anyone struck by the blade would simply detonate like a big old meat bomb. Wasn't exactly the elegant weapon they'd been hoping for. You know, on account of science.
No blast doors, but this sword should still burst super atoms.
And, as we've seen, clearly does a fierce job on organic plasma too.
No lag time between uses, but the effective range is reduced to little more than an arm's length.
Did you hear her crackle when Fiddlehead sparked her up?
Without a coolant bath, the power cell will get pretty hot pretty quickly.
Not an issue.
Flesh-searing hot.
This just gets better and better.
It will eventually overheat and blow up. And I mean a big quantum disruption kaboom!
A super sword with a flesh-searing hilt that will eventually become a bomb.
Billy Club, but essentially, yes.
All in.